Epstein files dropped last month, creepy old men from every sector of society have fallen from grace, including one of the world's richest men, Bill Gates. Before the Epstein files came out, we all just thought of him as Steve Jobs with no Riz. But now we think of him as Steve Jobs with no Riz from the Epstein files. And now he's doing damage control.
Bill Gates apologized to staff of the Gates Foundation Tuesday, admitting he made mistakes that cast a cloud on the philanthropy. He also acknowledged 2 affairs, but said they did not involve Epstein victims.
I did have affairs, one with a Russian bridge player who met me at bridge events, and one with a Russian nuclear physicist who I met through business activities.
Wow. Okay, isn't going into this much detail with your staff a giant HR violation? Thank you, everyone, for hopping on this Zoom call. Let's touch base on who I've been f***ing. Okay, first, Svetlana, and hoo boy, did we get freaky. Let's just say nothing was micro or soft. Thank you, thank you. By the way, I love how he's going out of his way to make sure people know how old the women were. I met her at bridge. And then we went out to dinner at 4:30. We spent all night giving our social security numbers to a scammer on the phone. And then she leaned over to me and whispered, "I'm not wearing any Depends." So we rode the stair lift all the way up to her bathroom and shared a romantic soak in her walk-in tub. He's not the only person trying to explain their ties to Epstein this week. You all remember Hillary Clinton, the former senator, Secretary of State, and presidential nominee, and her husband, Bill, who pretends to write political thrillers with James Patterson. They've been facing tough questions about their connections to Epstein, and now we might get some answers.
Secretary Clinton sat for a closed-door deposition in Chappaqua, New York. Tomorrow, it's former President Bill Clinton.
Oof, another Clinton deposition. It's staggering to think about how much money lawyers have been paid because of Bill's penis. His has a higher GDP than most nations. But maybe this is a signal that Congress is finally ready to hold everybody accountable.
A former president's never been compelled to appear before Congress. Is this where this is all heading as of today?
Well, we've never had a former president either this close to a convicted felon either. I mean, it's problematic.
Yes, we must hold these former presidents accountable. I mean, who knows what kind of former damage these former presidents could do with their former fingers on the former nuclear button. But obviously, they're not going to haul Donald Trump in for a deposition because, as you'll remember...
I've been totally exonerated on Epstein.
That's right. That's right. All of the relevant files have come out. There's nothing incriminating about Trump, and that's what all the files, which we've all seen all of, have all said. So I guess case closed. Nothing else to see here.
The DOJ's release of the Epstein files is missing some very important and potentially explosive materials. As MS Now reports, quote, the Justice Department has withheld notes and memos reflecting FBI interviews from its release of the Epstein files.
Materials about an unproven sexual assault accusation against President Trump.
Huh. That's strange. Trump's DOJ did that? The same DOJ that promised to release the Epstein files and then gave influencers binders filled with old documents, and they wouldn't release more, so Congress had to pass a law saying that they had to, but they still missed the deadline to release the files, and then when they finally did, the files were riddled with sketchy redactions. That DOJ? Nah, I can't see it. I don't think so. Now, usually you would expect that a batch of missing files linking the president to international sex crimes would be the main story on any network, but conservative media has found a story even more disturbing and explosive.
Socialist mayor of New York City still refusing to call for consequences for suspects that pelted New York police officers with chunks of ice and snow.
They chalked this up to being a snowball fight. Not really. Looks like a bombardment.
This is not fun. This is not kid-like.
This is an assault.
This is a crime.
That was not a snowball fight. Right. That was cops getting pummeled by snowballs.
That's not snow. That's a weapon at this point.
We know what a riot looks like, and that's what we have in New York City.
Yeah, that's right. It was a riot, an ambush, an insurrection. Yeah. And that's what happened on Monday when NYPD officers got hit with snowballs when they walked into the middle of a giant snowball fight. And while the police left without breaking up the snowball fight, they did later go back through the evidence and make an arrest. Can you just imagine the guy in jail waiting to get booked? What are you in here for? First-degree snowball? God damn, that's cold. Look, this incident has become a big controversy here in New York. Was it just an incident snowball fight? Did people go too far? All I can say is, as a New Yorker, I just hope spring gets here soon so that we can get back to hitting each other with hammers. For more on this snowball fight and its aftermath, we go live to Washington Square Park with Michael Costa. What's the latest?
Desi, the NYPD is on the scene collecting evidence. Snowballs like this will be sent to the lab. Shit, it melted. My bad. I left it on my laptop. So.
Michael, isn't the NYPD overreacting here? I don't think it warrants this much of an investigation.
I totally agree, Desi. The police response is completely over the top. At the end of the day, it was just some kids having fun. Who doesn't love a good snowball fight? Okay, nice one, Timmy. You know, you got me good. Totally fun.
Yeah, let me ask, if the snowball throwers are actually arrested, what consequences could they be facing?
Well, according to the police commissioner, they could be looking at some serious legal... Oh, God, okay, hey, Timmy! That one had some ice in it. There's a couple sharp edges here. Still fun. I'm just trying to do a little work. Anyway, police are looking at security footage, which they are determined... Hey, Jesus! That one was yellow. Don't throw balls at me, you little punk. This is rhino skin.
Costa, do you need a minute? You seem a little worked up.
No, it's just rhino skin is expensive and it's hard to get. It's actually illegal. Look, this is all fun in the snow. Hey, stop it! Jesus Christ! I'm serious! This is assault. This is attempted murder. I could have been killed.
I mean, how could you have been killed?
This is New York. These snowballs could be filled with syringes, knives, STDs. Maybe all three.